HollywoodActorPrep.com
HollywoodActorPrep.com.
First of all, there's an unbelievable, weird aspect of comedy, which is that it's the only art form, the success of which is determined by an involuntary physical response.
Right.
You know, it's like trying to get 1,000 people in a room to sneeze at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's kind of like what it's like. It's just an odd thing. You know?
It is an odd thing.
And as a result of that, given that a sense of humor, one of the edges of our canvas as comedians is that you, the audience, that's not a critical comment. That was just another California quote. The audience has to laugh. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you want that laugh. That's the final period at the end of the sentence, and it's an involuntary physical response. So we're working in an art form that is more akin to trying to get a room full of 1,000 people to sneeze all at the same time than it is anything else, and that's just kind of odd. And
really sneeze out loud though. And the louder it is, the more successful you are considered.
An existential thing. But having said that, the interesting thing about that is because a sense of humor is really, really intimate. I mean, a sense of humor is the closest you can get to sexual attraction, because whatever makes you laugh makes you laugh. There's no explaining it. There's no justifying it. It just is what it is. There's nothing you can do about it. You know, a sense of humor is very, very intimate like that. So to get 1,000 people all to find the same thing funny, and an involuntary physical reaction to it is quite remarkable, really. And what it speaks to is that every comedian that's doing that successfully has to understand, you go across America and do live shows, you've got to understand the infinite variety of perspectives on everything that you're talking about, because we have to surprise the audience. So in order to surprise the audience in some way, we've got to understand what their baseline is. And there's an infinite number of varieties of perceptions, the way people see things and the way they feel in the world. And a comedian intuitively understands that, puts it all together.
I think different people are born more sensitive and more of more sensitive.
It's what artists do.
Right,
right. So that's just an interesting perspective on comedy that most people don't think of. But it is remarkable that every time you surprise an audience, particularly with material that is socially critical, that is about substantive things, that is about things that are polarizing issues or whatever. It's really remarkable how much a comic needs to understand in order to make that work.
Right.
And intuitively about the American experience,
Yeah, but I remember a long time ago, I don't know who it was explaining comedy to me, and I think it might have even been Jerry Seinfeld once said, some things are funny just because you recognize it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like people laugh because they recognize themselves in that situation. Maybe it's not.
But what they don't realize is that it's also everybody in the room. They think it's their own thing.
Right.
And the surprise is that, I'm not alone. Everybody's recognized.
Well, that's true for acting too. I mean, so much of acting, really great acting, people think is character this, but no, it's the honest, authentic emotion, and by the actor somehow getting the true experience of it, then the people in the audience, and when they'll say a performance is great when the audience member has had a personal, emotional experience.
Right, and in acting, in music, in drama, in literature, in painting, in sculpture, in virtually any other art form, you can have whatever emotional experience it is that you have. It doesn't have to be one specific thing.
You're right.
It can be your own experience. It could be something wistful. It could be something nostalgic. It could be something painful. It could be something whimsical. It could be any and everything, but you've had an experience, and therefore it's successful. But with stand-up, it has to be one specific thing.
Right.
And to get it.
You want everybody to laugh at the exact same time. So you've got to press that button, and those people somehow have got to hit the target.
And there's no line. You either get the laugh or you
don't. Or you don't.
Somebody can sit back and go, yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was really fascinating. I thought it was really interesting. And if you could get on the inside, their emotional level was really like, with the Dolby on. Just all the highs and lows missing, just in that little range. You have no idea.
Right.
But with comedy, that it's got to hit this place.
Yeah. And there is a little bit of tricks that you can try to cheat with it, but not really.
Not really, exactly right. That's craft.
Yeah.
And that's experience. And yes,
people will only laugh on cue one or two times maybe, but they're not. The audience does not like ever to be cheated. That's the interesting thing about audiences too, is that They want to enjoy themselves, but they
But-
won't do it if artificial.
We all know people who are really excited to go see somebody, and then they go see them, and they might go, it was okay, it wasn't that
Right.
great, you know. They wanted to go, they spent their money,
Yeah,
they wanted
yeah,
it.
yeah.
But yeah, they don't lie to themselves. They just
No,
don't.
no, they don't. And you know, that's one of the reasons why, even though I wanted to do stand-up so much, I was so afraid to do it because, you know, you got to stand up there and make those people laugh again and again and again.
That's why I maintain that of all the art forms and all the performing arts, the one with the least degree of margin of error is
Right.
stand-up comedy.
That's right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
There's no, it works or it doesn't, case closed. As Billy Connolly puts it in Saturday, he goes, you know, even boxers can almost win. Even boxers can
Right,
almost win,
right.
and somebody decide they carry the title.
Mm-hmm.
But comics can't always. If you
No,
win,
no.
you don't, there's no argument about it.
No. And, you know, even in acting, there's in the others holding it up, or the story, or this or that, but a comedy guy, he's on his own, or she's on her own. And it's a very independent thing, too. You have to be so
It is.
brave. And, you know, Paul, that's why I've always so admired you, because, and all my comedian friends, too.